Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Ledger. I'm Cage, and that's Chair. Sorry, I was trying to point. It doesn't work very well. How's it going, pal?
Good.
Yeah. Well, today will probably not be a long one. It'll probably be a shorter one because we don't have that much to talk about. A little tiny bit of news and some trailers. And that's it, really. I mean, there's a bunch of like TV shows out that we need to catch up on. I know you've been watching Fallout season 2,
Yep.
and that wraps up in
Pretty
a
good
couple
so far.
weeks
Yeah, no, next week.
next week. So yeah, I gotta watch that. I also have to watch everything
Wonder
else.
Man?
Yeah,
Wonder Man, right?
Wonder Man just dropped. I'm pretty sure the whole series dropped at once. So
hmm
that's all out on Disney Plus. So I have to watch that. Then at some point I got to watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I've started watching this new show based off of a comic book series that I think nobody knows is based off a comic book series, which is fine because it
hmm
really isn't that much. But it's called The Beauty, and after the first episode, I just thought it I don't know. It was way too dramatized and not interesting, and like the original concept of the beauty is interesting enough. You don't need to make a mystery around it, but they decided to make it a whole mystery thing. Um, so I didn't really like it, but I watched the like next two episodes. It gets a little bit better, but it's really not remotely close to anything you'd ever read in the comic book series. So
hmm
it is what it is. Like more or less, the beauty is an STD, and in the comic book, right? That's the entire premise, and that's what they start with. Is like, years ago, people started getting infected with this STD, but it's one people want to catch because it melts away fat, it clears up your complexion, it increases your metabolism. Like you become beautiful, right? Because you get this disease, and there were like no known side effects, but then it turns out that people who got it eventually like started overheating from the inside and just died, but like kind of violently, but not really. But the show, they like explode into like little tiny pieces and also get really really violent and start like assaulting people and drinking tons of water, and it makes no sense, and they don't even tell you what's going on. You have to kind of like piece it together. So they replaced all the characters with brand new characters and brand new storylines and everything. Essentially, they take the premise, turn it into a mystery, and made their own show.
And what do you think?
I think I I I think it's not that interesting, to be honest, what they did with the TV
Mm.
show. But it's getting more interesting the more episodes I watch. So I'll watch it, and hopefully it gets better. But like one of the things like is the comic book came out in 2015, and 2015 was a pivotal time in comic books because have you ever heard of Comic Gate?
No.
Okay, well, there was this idea that was really driven by longtime comic book creators in the industry that the publishing companies were starting to only hire certain kinds of writers, and they were like forcing ideologies onto people. And it started like 2014 but went into 2015, and this is when people started really turning their back on characters like Miles Morales. Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel was a brand new character in 2014. um, there were a whole bunch of other like Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider. Like essentially, they started replacing mainline historical comic book characters with minorities or women, and that became known as Comic Gate. And people were like, there were obviously red pilled extreme people that were like, we need to boycott the industry, and they're forcing ideologies on children and blah blah blah. And us people who have read comic books for a long time know that those kinds of things have always existed in comic books, right? Like maybe it wasn't more representation for women or more representation for certain ethnic groups back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, but it was a lot of people should be treated fairly, and commentary on things happening in the world at the time. I mean, you have Captain America punching a Nazi on the cover of a comic book, right? So for a lot of us, it wasn't a big deal, but there were a lot of red pillars that it was. But to the point of the beauty, there are a lot of, like there's a one of the leaders of like the detective agency or whatever is like married to a woman. There's a character who is trans, who like part of their transition is getting the STD to like help them, become who they always were. And so like you have like these original characters that you can use to represent certain things in this TV show, because the TV show also tries to push certain agendas, right? Like they're doing what people would say is woke. So if you're gonna do that, right, you have like they say the words incel in the show because there's a guy who's like an actual incel. Like they're depicting all these quote unquote woke storylines. Like you didn't need to do anything new with that. You like it's right there in the thing you're basing this off of. So I think really what happened is the people who created the show heard the concept and never read the comics and just wanted to make the show. So
Yeah.
I think that's what we have here. But to another point, the only real bit of news I have is that Amazon is interested in making a not a comic book, a live action adaptation of the comic book Sex Criminals, which is another Image Comics story, which who knows what they're going to do. But more or less what Sex Criminals is this woman finds out that when she has sex, she has the ability to stop time. And so she ends up meeting a guy, and and she has the same ability. So what they do is they have sex and rob banks together. So,
Interesting.
yeah. It was in this comic book. This was the same thing. This came out in 2013, 14, 15, somewhere around there. Same time as The Beauty, pretty much. Ran for 31 issues, and I have some of the trade paperbacks of that series from when I was heavily reading comic books back then too. So, yeah, and it was written by Matt Fraction, by the way. And if that name means nothing to you, it's because you probably don't read comic books, which is fine. But Matt Fraction did one of the best modern runs on the character Hawkeye. So, anyway,
Cool.
yeah. So there's a couple trailers that came out. And so we'll talk about those a little bit. We had a Daredevil trailer, and Maul Shadow Lord as a trailer, and Masters of the Universe, which I think has gotten some interesting opinions about it. So, anyway, we can start with Daredevil. Did you watch Daredevil trailer?
I just did, yeah, 10 minutes ago. So
Alright.
it's the freshest in my mind. It looked cool. It's cool to see all the characters back. Cool to see Jessica Jones back. But also the trailer was only 1 minute long.
Yes.
So there's not a, it was a teaser. So there's not a whole lot to go off of here. It just looks like it definitely looks like just good Daredevil stuff. I wasn't a big fan of Daredevil Born Again the first season. I thought it was very oddly paced and like the writing was off. And I hope that this season is different. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first season obviously had to outgrow kind of all the changes during production, right? Like, it wasn't initially supposed to be a continuation of the Netflix show. It was supposed to be like a proper reboot. And then that made fans pretty mad. And they weren't going to bring back Foggy and Karen. And so they pretty much had to redo everything. And we got parts of different productions, right? So that's probably why it felt that way. I think season 2 is an opportunity for them to kind of return to form, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think we kind of had the opinion at the time, like, by itself, Daredevil Born Again is fine. When you watch it with the Netflix series freshly in mind, it really pales in comparison. Like, it really shrinks to something that we go, yeah, it's not that great. I think that's kind of how I feel about it. But I think season 2.
Yeah, those first few seasons on the Netflix were really special. There's no doubt about that one.
Yeah.
uh God, even my parents watched the first two seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. That's how you know it's like when my parents, who are both like in their 60s now, watch like something. That's how you know like it's crossed boundaries. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Um. All right. All right. Yeah, there wasn't a lot there. I mean, it's cool to see Jessica Jones. I mean, we did see like Foggy Nelson in the trailer, but I'm pretty sure that's from a flashback. Um. We have. They're probably gonna do kind of. I mean, we see Daredevil in more of a blackish suit. I think a lot of that trailer was flashbacks, honestly.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens. Okay, Maul Shadow Lord. What did you think of that trailer?
Man, they really have made this 3D engine that they started with in the back in 2008 and 2009, the Clone Wars. The 3D engine now, it's like almost completely different. Like it looks like the same, but it's just so good looking,
Yeah, it's really crisp.
So
Like
yeah,
the
it looks really
animation's
good.
really good.
It's cool to see Maul doing badass stuff, and the Clone Wars is never really dead, I guess, as long as it's Dave Filoni's at the helm. We're always going to be getting little like non-backs like this to the Clone Wars and all that kind of stuff. The continuation of his stories and how he wants to tell them, for better or for worse. We got Ahsoka season 2 coming out this year, right?
Yeah, apparently it wrapped production in October. So we should be getting it this year.
Yeah.
Because Kathleen Kennedy talked about it in her like exit interview from Lucasfilm. She pretty much said like, they're just talking about getting Dave Filoni prepared because he'd only worked in animation before. He never really worked in live action. So coming into Disney, like when she's walking away, she knows that he's gonna be one of the ones to replace her. So like that's why she had him working with Jon Favreau on The Mandalorian to kind of get him used to live action, and then he did the whole Ahsoka series on his own, and
Mm-hmm.
now he's doing season 2, and obviously The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out, so he's had more time to build those things. But yeah, she mentioned that he finished directing and writing all the episodes in October, so like production had wrapped up, so it should come out this year. You would hope. But who knows when?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's gonna be after Mandalorian and Grogu because they have to, maybe it takes place after that or something. But yeah, the animation is real nice. Um, Sam Witwer is back as Darth Maul, which is good.
Yep.
Because listen, I like Ray Park. I thought he did really cool stunts in the live, in the Phantom Menace. But
But
that
he didn't
guy,
really act. He didn't
no,
act. No, he didn't act at all.
no.
he like
But
he just stood there
apparently,
and said, yes, my master."
and
That's what he said.
even then, his voice was mixed with someone else's voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, but apparently Ray Park has kind of like gone off the deep end. Like he's posting crazy shit on social media. I haven't watched it, but like I was on like a Star Wars Reddit page and people were talking about it. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
did see someone comment and they said Sam Witwer has been the real Darth Maul for years. So, not no real loss here. And it's true. Like
Well, Sam
Sam.
Witwer's really cool, so we approve of we approve of him. He's a
Yeah.
dope dude.
And he knows what the fuck he's doing. Like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to Star Wars as well. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that trailer was really cool. Remains to be seen, how the show will be, but it looks great. But I guess the most divisive trailer out is the Masters of the Universe trailer.
See, I liked it, so I don't know why people are people hating on it. Like I
I,
thought it was kind of
I'm sure you could. I'm
badass.
sure you can guess why people are hating on it. There's a couple
Uh,
reasons.
Cause the CGI looks like shit.
No. So one reason is people, and I think this is a stupid reason. People are saying that the guy playing He-Man isn't big enough to be He-Man. Like he's too small.
Yeah.
Right, which is stupid. That's dumb. All right, I'm gonna tell you that's
Yeah.
dumb. The second reason I also think is dumb, but I don't really care about it that much. People are essentially calling it like Concord Light, like the video game Concord,
Yeah.
and people were real upset about that video game.
Well, yeah, it came out and then it shut down right away because no one wanted it.
Well, because it's a bad game, right? Like
Yeah.
when you watch the gameplay, like the characters' movement is bad, like it's not well balanced. But the thing that I say people, quote unquote, were really mad about is the pronouns, right? Like, people were
Yeah.
mad that they gave all the heroes pronouns. Even some were given the pronouns undecided and things. And we open on a He-Man trailer with a guy sitting at a desk who is he/him man.
Hmm.
And I think people are mad about it. I think it's funny. I don't really care. I don't know. I never watched Masters of the Universe or He-Man as a kid. I don't really know anything about it other than like Skeletor, She-Ra, He-Man, Castle Grayskull, Battle Cat, who apparently you can just make animals do labor for you and not pay them. But uh, did did he really like? Is it really like a mundane real world employee who discovers a sword and becomes He-Man?
No, in no, in the cartoons, I don't know. In the cartoons, he was just always fighting Skeletor for power, Castle Grayskull, because it can grant wishes and stuff like that. And Skeletor, you know,
Hmm.
wants to have his evil wish to rule the world and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Um, I don't. If there was an intro like that, I don't remember. No, I remember just watching the gritty, the modern reboot in like 2006, 2007 on Toonami, where they did that, where
Hmm.
they did some He-Man stuff for a long time. I
Didn't they
think he
do
was the
something a
prince. He
couple years
was
ago on Netflix? Didn't they have like a Netflix reboot kind of?
maybe I think they did. Yeah, they did. I didn't watch it.
I didn't either,
I
but
did watch it. I don't
oh.
remember. I don't remember. No,
Yeah.
I did watch it. It was just it came out a really long time ago. I did watch it though.
Yeah, this whole like my impression from the trailer is like he's from whatever fantasy world and then gets sent to like Earth with no memory of it or something, and then he
Mm,
finds his true destiny and goes back or something. I
mm.
guess I don't fucking know, but I'd rather it just be like a proper like full fantasy film if they're gonna do that.
Yeah, same. I thought it looked good. You know, I thought CGI is a little rough, but CGI is a little rough all over the place these days. It seems like,
Yeah.
um, so I'm not gonna fault for that. I think the only good CGI I've seen in a long time is from Andor, Disney Plus show of all places. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
but yeah, it's yeah, I love. I think He-Man is just fun action for it's just fun dumb action, and there's
yeah. I
big
mean,
swords,
and
big
people
buff
can't
dudes.
pretend that
There's like
He-Man was ever
vehicles.
cool.
Yeah,
Like, He-Man was never cool. He-Man was always fucking stupid, well, in my opinion. But
yeah,
you know,
but it
like,
was fun.
yeah.
It's
So
fun. It's badass.
I thought the costume design looked good. Like, I thought Skeletor looked good, even though it's Jared Leto under there.
Yeah.
And I think the He-Man actor looks fine. Like, I don't know what people are expecting. They want like roided out fucking gym bros or some shit, but like,
Yeah, I think that's what they're expecting. Like 800 abs and like shoulders the size of like fucking a
yeah,
house.
boulder
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. If you put a post-it on their back, they cannot take it off.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah. I don't know. I didn't mind the trailer, but it does make me laugh a little bit. So anyway. But yeah, that's it. Really, I don't know. Do you have anything else? You want to talk about the finer details of monkey labor in Thailand?
No, not
Okay.
really. That doesn't sound very interesting.
No, it's not. I just learned about it this week, to be honest. So,
Mm.
um, yeah. But yeah, ooh, yeah, we got to watch Wonder Man, so we can talk about Wonder Man. We got to watch Fallout. We'll talk about Fallout. Um,
Hmm. All of season one's on YouTube, by the way, for free. Apparently.
a Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched season one already. But I
Yeah.
gotta watch season two, and I gotta watch. I gotta pay for the thing, so there's no ads, because I fucking hate ads.
Yeah.
I don't want my 40-minute experience turning into an hour experience, because over 8 episodes, that's like 2.5 hours of waste of time.
Yeah. It's a lot of ads.
Too many. Do you watch it with ads?
I do.
I'm sorry. Sorry you have to go through that.
It's whatever. I just pull out my phone and scroll memes on Instagram or Reddit.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you make better use of your time than me, because I would just stop. I would give up. I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
So
Plus, I love Fallout. This season's really good. It's a lot of fun.
yeah. Well, I mean, the first season was really good.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, we kept it short today, We kept it short
You
because
know.
we didn't have that much to
Well,
talk
we
about.
talked about 3 1 minute trailers, so there's not a whole lot to go over. Like we see in like Maul, like again, it was only a minute and 30 seconds long. Daredevil was only literally a minute long,
Yeah.
and then what was the other trailer we talked about? He-Man Master Universe was like a minute, probably 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we talked about like in Maul what they all. I don't know if they implied anything for the future. I just saw Maul slicing a lot of people up, which is like, you
Yeah.
know,
I think. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I only watched parts of that trailer because
mm-hmm,
I meant to watch it and I never got around to it. But I'm pretty sure he takes on like an apprentice or something, or takes someone under his wing. Not maybe an apprentice,
mm-hmm,
but he takes some like girl under his wing, right? Or like is watching out for her. Did I did
mm-hmm.
I did I read something wrong? Is that true?
I don't know. It kind of seems that way, like a fugitive Jedi almost.
Okay. Yeah. See, something. All right. Well, that's it. That's everything. There's nothing else.
Mm.
I was gonna talk a little bit about Kathleen Kennedy's exit interview, but it's really not that interesting. There's nothing new there. Like she does talk about the prospect of AI and like using AI responsibly, and it's probably gonna be the thing that helps them advance further with new things in film, but you have to do it responsibly and blah blah blah. But like, here's the thing: people are mad about AI taking jobs from artists, but didn't CGI also take jobs from artists and then give those jobs to other artists?
Yeah, it's a confusing world these days.
Like, I wasn't alive back then. Were people mad about the emergence of CGI because like it
I
was
don't know.
taking away jobs from people who do practical effects?
I don't
Or
know.
I mean, neither do I. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, there's a lot of anger towards AI. I mean, even Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the actor, was like testifying in front of like a Utah legislator about it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kid Rock was testifying about ticket prices being ridiculous and destroying the music industry,
Mm.
which I kind of agree. Um,
Yeah, not if you're into metal, I guess it's a little bit cheaper.
no, if you're into metal, like you're chilling, like I can go see some of the top metalcore bands. Like I could pay $50 to go see them, and I don't have to get tickets right when they go on sale. I can wait like a month or two, and they'll still be available.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
Bruno Mars is coming to Santa Clara, and BTS is coming to Stanford, and if you got to wait in a queue of 100,000 people, by the time you get in, everything's sold out, or you have to pay $1,000 for tickets. And
Yeah.
these are not people I care to see, but I love people who care to see them. So but I'm not spending that much on a fucking ticket. So,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, it really dilutes the music going experience because you end up going to concerts with people who aren't actually fans of those musicians. They're just there
Mm-hmm.
because they can afford it and it's an experience. They can say I went there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know because we go to like metal shows in smaller venues what a pure artistic, you know, kind of experience feels like, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone is in there feeling the same thing. Everyone is in there for the same purpose and to enjoy the same music. Like if you go to massive shows like fucking Lady Gaga or something, most people in there don't know the words. The audience is boring and stagnant. They're all on their phones like taking pictures of themselves and shit. Like, bruh, if you're out there with your phone out taking pictures of yourself at a metal concert, you might get fucking stomped on. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You might. I
you
wear
might.
I wear boots. I wear boots because I like to stand at the edge of the pit. Like like I like to
Yeah.
stand at the edge of the pit. I don't like moshing because I run out of. Well, sometimes I mosh, but I run out of energy really quick. I run out of
Yeah.
breath really quick 'cause I'm out of shape. So but I like to stand at the edge of the pit because it's a lot of energy.
hmm Yeah, and if you're not careful, you'll get fucking whacked in the face or some shit. Like,
Yeah, I've gotten whacked in the face at what was it? Who did I see? It was a Machine Head show. I got
oh
fucking
nice.
clocked in the side of the head with an elbow. That hurt like a motherfucker, dude. I
Yeah,
like almost blacked out.
bro. I saw some guy. I was at a concert, and it's like it's at a venue. It's a concert venue. Like a lot of metal bands play there, but like they also have like a bar. Like a full bar, and then there's a bar upstairs. But this bar down, like everyone spills their drinks all the fucking time. And some guy was moshing, and he fucking slipped on some spilled beer, and his fucking whole leg snapped.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. People were like carrying him out, getting him into an ambulance and shit. That's the thing. Metal concerts, they look violent, but everyone's like looking out for each other.
Yeah, they
And,
are.
and if
The
you
mosh,
have,
the mosh pit stops when someone falls down. You know, I've seen it happen 100 times where someone falls over the mosh pit and everyone stops so they
yeah,
can get up, so you don't get fucking stomped on.
and if you have one asshole who's like trying to hurt people, like they get fucking kicked out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, that's it. Much love. Like, comment, rate, review, subscribe. Share your thoughts on all the trailers and whatnot. Tell us what you want us to talk about next. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.